Picture this: a scorching afternoon in Phoenix, Arizona, where the summer heat wasn't the only thing boiling over. An aggressive driver in a luxury sedan decided that traffic laws, common courtesy, and basic human decency were optional suggestions rather than rules of the road. This road rage incident captured on dashcam shows exactly what happens when entitlement meets instant karma, and trust me, the universe had zero patience for this guy's behavior. What you read about the witness is the kind of instant justice that makes you believe in cosmic balance. Decision to your typical fender bender a minor traffic dispute. We were talking about a driver who spent 15 minutes terrorizing multiple vehicles, cutting people off at dangerous speeds, brake-checking families with children, and using his car as a weapon to intimidate anyone who dared exist in his lane. The aggressive driving display included illegal lane changes, running red lights, and gestures that would make a sailor blush. But here is where it gets absolutely wild. Every single act of road rage this entitled driver committed was building up to a moment of instant karma so perfectly timed, so beautifully executed by the universe itself, that you will want to replay it over and over. The instant consequences that followed his reckless behavior happened within seconds, caught on multiple cameras, and witnessed by dozens of shocked drivers who couldn't believe their eyes. This real-life karma story proves that sometimes justice does not wait for court dates or police reports, sometimes arrives immediately, spectacularly, and with the perfect amount of irony that makes instant karma videos go viral for all the right reasons. Welcome back to our channel, where we bring you the most satisfying instant karma stories caught on camera. If you love watching entitled people get exactly what they deserve through instant justice and real-life consequences, you're in the right place. Before we dive into today's unbelievable road rage karma incident, do us a huge favor. Smash that like button right now and drop a comment telling us what city you were watching from. We love seeing our karma-loving community from all around the world. Your engagement helps us bring you more instant karma content, so don't forget to comment your location and hit that like button. Our story kicks off on Interstate in Phoenix, Arizona, during rush hour traffic on a blistering Tuesday afternoon. The dashcam footage begins in a curiously enough normal highway congestion, drivers maintaining safe distances, everyone cooperating in the slow-moving traffic that is just part of urban driving life. Then, like a shark cutting through water, a silver Mercedes sedan appears, weaving aggressively between lanes without signaling, forcing drivers to slam their brakes to avoid collision. The driver, later identified by witnesses as a middle-aged man in a business suit, clearly operated under the delusion that his expensive car granted him special privileges on public roads. His aggressive driving escalated quickly from merely annoying to genuinely dangerous. Within the first 3 minutes of footage, he'd already committed at least 7 traffic violations, each one more brazen than the last. He targeted a minivan full of children so closely that his front bumper nearly kissed their rear bumper, then swerved around them while laying on his horn like he was conducting a symphony of rage. What made this road rage incident particularly infuriating was the driver's complete disregard for the safety of others. A pickup truck driver who tried to maintain proper following distance became his next target. Our entitled driver pulled in front of the truck and brake-checked him, slamming on his brakes for no reason other than to intimidate and potentially cause an accident. The truck driver, thankfully maintaining awareness and distance, managed to stop in time, but the danger was real and completely unnecessary. The dashcam capturing all of this belonged to a nurse heading home after a 12-hour shift, who later stated she'd never seen such blatant disregard for human safety in her 15 years of commuting. She wasn't alone in her assessment. Multiple drivers were now documenting this dangerous behavior, their phones out, recording every illegal maneuver, every aggressive gesture, every moment that would soon lead to the instant karma this driver was unknowingly racing toward. The situation intensified as our road rage driver found his next victim. A young woman in a compact sedan who had the audacity to be driving the speed limit in the right lane. Professional defensive driving instructors teach that the right lane is for slower traffic, exactly where this woman belonged. But apparently, our entitled driver had read his own traffic rulebook, and it dictated that all lanes existed solely for his convenience. He rode up behind her, flashing his high beams aggressively despite the bright afternoon sun making them barely visible, but the intention crystal clear. When she didn't immediately teleport out of his way, he pulled alongside her in the left lane and began gesturing wildly, his face contorted in rage visible even through the tinted windows. The young woman, visibly shaken based on witness accounts, tried to ignore the intimidation tactics and maintain her lane position, doing nothing wrong whatsoever. This refusal to be bullied sent our road rager into an even deeper frenzy of entitlement. He accelerated ahead of her, cut back into the right lane with Interstate, and executed another dangerous brake check maneuver. The young woman's defensive driving skills prevented a collision, but the psychological impact was clear. She immediately moved to the far right lane and reduced her speed, prioritizing safety over rival team, exactly as one should when encountering aggressive drivers. But our entitled Mercedes driver wasn't finished with his tour of traffic terrorism. Next in his cruisers was a delivery truck simply trying to do its job, followed by an elderly couple in a sedan who were probably driving to a doctor's appointment or grocery store, completely undeserving of the harassment they were about to receive. Each interaction followed the same pattern: aggressive approach, dangerous lane changes, brake checking, horn honking, and obscene gestures. The pattern was predictable, reckless, and building toward a crescendo of instant karma that none of these victims could have predicted, but everyone would soon appreciate. Here is where cosmic justice began preparing its response to this display of vehicular violence and entitled behavior. A known TR aggressive driver, his 15-minute rampage hadn't gone unnoticed by more than just civilian dashcams and cell phones. 3 separate drivers had called 911, reporting a silver Mercedes sedan driving recklessly, providing the license plate, location, and detailed descriptions of the dangerous maneuvers endangering everyone on Interstate. The 911 operators had dispatched not 1, but 2 Arizona Highway Patrol units to intercept and stop this rolling menace before someone got seriously hurt or killed. The state troopers were approaching from different on-ramps, coordinating via radio, tracking the Mercedes through color updates. The instant karma was being prepared by professionals trained specifically for high-risk traffic enforcement situations, but our driver remained completely oblivious, though consumed by his own rage and sense of superiority to notice the trap closing around him. Meanwhile, the Mercedes driver selected his most dangerous target yet: a school bus. Yes, you read that correctly, a school bus carrying approximately 30 children home from afternoon activities. The bus driver, a 20-year veteran with an impeccable safety record, was driving appropriately for his large vehicle's capabilities and precious cargo. He maintained steady speed, signaled lane changes well in advance, and left ample following distance ahead of him. None of this mattered to our entitled driver, who saw the school bus as just another obstacle preventing him from shaving 10 minutes off his commute. He pulled up behind the bright yellow vehicle, horn blaring, high beams flashing, as if a professional bus driver responsible for children's lives would somehow be intimidated into dangerous driving. The bus driver, following protocol perfectly, ignored the harassment and continued operating his vehicle safely. He also reached for his radio to report the aggressive driver to dispatch, adding another official report to the growing field that would soon become very relevant. The instant karma was no longer a possibility, it had become an inevitability, racing toward our driver at high speed. Every instant karma story is a pivotal moment where the perpetrator makes the mistake that seals their fate. For our Mercedes driver, that moment arrived when his impatience reached critical mass behind the school bus. Unable to tolerate following a vehicle prioritizing safety over speed, he made a decision that would transform from aggressive to criminal in the span of 3 seconds. He floored the accelerator and swerved into the left lane, passing the school bus at a speed that witnesses estimated exceeded 90 miles per hour in a 65 miles per hour zone, but speed wasn't his only violation during this maneuver. As he passed the school bus, he extended his middle finger toward the driver and the children visible through the windows, screaming obscenities that several children later reported hearing through closed windows. This act of aggression toward children crossed a line that even casual observers found utterly inexcusable. The dashcam footage shows him cutting back in front of the school bus with barely 3 car lengths of space, forcing the bus driver to apply his brakes firmly enough that children lurched forward in their seats. Parents watching this footage later would express disbelief that anyone could be so reckless with children as a safety. The bus driver's professional composure remained intact, but his radio communication with dispatch became marginal. This wasn't just aggressive driving anymore. This was a direct threat to student safety. Our entitled driver, probably feeling victorious about showing the bus driver who was boss, accelerated away from the scene. He then now committed multiple felonies on camera, endangered dozens of lives including children, and created a trail of evidence that prosecutors would later describe as a defense attorney's nightmare. But karma wasn't waiting for courtrooms or legal proceedings. The instant justice they'd been earning with every illegal maneuver was about to be delivered express, no patience, and with the satisfying precision that makes these real-life karma moments so universally appreciated by everyone who has ever encountered an entitled driver. Here comes the moment you've been waiting for, the instant karma that makes this story so perfectly satisfying. Our Mercedes driver, flying down Interstate at excessive speed after terrorizing a school bus, didn't notice the two Arizona highway patrol vehicles that had just merged onto the highway from opposite on-ramps. They'd been coordinating this intercept for the past 8 minutes, positioning themselves perfectly based on 911 color updates and their own visual acquisition of the silver Mercedes weaving through traffic. The first trooper activated his lights and siren, pulling in behind the Mercedes. Our entitled driver's brake lights flashed as reality began penetrating his bubble of road rage. But instead of accepting his instant karma gracefully, he made the situation exponentially worse. He attempted to flee. For approximately 45 seconds, he accelerated, changed lanes erratically, and tried to outrun law enforcement in rush hour traffic, adding felony evading to his growing list of charges. The second patrol vehicle, positioned ahead and anticipating this exact response, executed a textbook traffic brake maneuver, gradually slowing all lanes of traffic, while the first trooper pursued. With nowhere to go and traffic stopped ahead, our driver's options evaporated faster than his earlier confidence. He was boxed in completely, trapped by professional police work and his own terrible decisions. The Mercedes rolled to a stop, surrounded by patrol vehicles, lights blazing, justice delivered with mechanical precision. The rest that followed was captured by multiple civilian cameras, dashcams, and even a news helicopter that happened to be in the area covering traffic. Our entitled driver was removed from his Mercedes, handcuffed, and placed in the patrol vehicle while stunned motorists watched. The expressions on surrounding drivers' faces ranged from satisfaction to outright applause. Several people actually clapped from their vehicles. This wasn't just one person getting caught. This was collective relief that a dangerous individual had been removed from the road before he hurt someone. The instant karma was complete, thorough, and exactly what the situation demanded. The aftermath of this instant karma incident provides the perfect conclusion to our story. The entitled Mercedes driver faced multiple serious charges: reckless driving, aggressive driving, multiple counts of reckless endangerment, evading law enforcement, and several others. The dashcam footage from multiple sources became prosecution evidence, creating an airtight case that resulted in license suspension, significant fines, mandatory anger management courses, and a criminal record that would follow him far longer than any commute he was trying to shorten. But the real victory belongs to every driver who has ever encountered road rage, every person who has been intimidated by aggressive drivers, and especially to those children on that school bus who learned an important lesson. Actions have consequences, and sometimes karma delivers justice faster than any legal system. This incident reminds us that our choices on the road matter, that patience saves lives, and that treating others with respect is not just good manners, it is survival. If you enjoyed watching this entitled driver receive his instant karma, make sure you hit that like button and commented your city below. Subscribe for more instant justice stories that restore your faith in karma. And remember, the world doesn't belong to anyone, it belongs to everyone. Drive safely, treat others with respect, and let karma handle the rest. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next instant karma story.